This class. Okay, so yesterday we have covered the basic structures of React.js and what is components and how can we reuse the components and everything that we have covered it yesterday. Okay, so today we're going to cover about the types of components and what is states and how can we use the components and how can we write a JavaScript code. How can I write the JavaScript code inside this HTML? What is JSX? How to render the list and what are the things that we need to focus in the list and everything that we're going to discuss it today. Okay, so let me see it one by one. And if you are in, just give a comment. Just give a comment. You are back like that. Just give a comment. Okay, we will just get started the section. And yesterday, there is a delay, right? So because of streaming the video, the React is not downloaded properly. So I will give you already downloaded some React package. I will show you, right? So I yesterday I said that. So once it is downloaded, tomorrow I will continue and I will show you the structure also and what are the default structure it will come and how can we restructure it and come up with our own application. We have discussed it, right? So that's we will discuss now. So, okay, so now what I'm going to do, I just to go just a minute, I will share the screen. Okay, and the procedure is going to be same. If you are new here, this is a 4 days of workshop, and if you attend all the 4 days and if you filled the form. Okay, just a minute. Okay, just a minute. Hello, Latish. Just give me a moment. There is a problem. Yeah, sorry for the issue happened. There is a problem in sharing the screen. That's why it is. Okay. So now it is fine. Let me walk with that. Okay. Just a minute. Cut down this one. Okay, so the last day we have covered about the basics, what is component and why we want to use React to create a simple application as it is possible. So we have discussed all those things, right? So today we're going to discuss about from the beginning itself. We're going to discuss it and we're just going to look into that. Okay, let us go here. So once you started to write the command like npx hello everyone. So once you started to, so I just forgot. So the attendance will be shared in the chat box. You can fill the attendance form. So continuously, people who are filling the 40 attendance form, you will get a participation certificate, and also you will get notified in the LinkedIn of Nabita Biswasar, and it will be really helpful to outsource your network. Okay, so let me continue with now. So what we're going to do in the last class, there is a problem in installing with the React.js. Like it takes more time to install. So right now, what I did, I just used the npx react command. Okay, npx create react app, and what is the app that we have created? Workshop. So after that, you can able to see that we will get this one. We will get something like this, only this package only installed. But after that, I created my own react app. So after a fully installed react app, this is what the fully installed react app, that we go and work on here, and we will see the structure, and we will started to work and create our application here. Okay. Okay. So now I just close down this one, and I just want this one. Okay. So this is our file. And what I'm going to do, here you can able to see this file, and I just open my terminal, and using git bash, I going to run a command. Okay. Using the git bash, I just going to run a command. So what is the command that I want to run? So first make sure that you are in this workshop folder or not. Okay. You need to be in this workshop folder. If you are not in the workshop folder, then what you need to do, you need to give cd and type what is your folder name. Okay. It will go for that folder. Okay. It will go inside that folder. So this is what you need to do. And once you are come to the folder name that you have created, then you need to write npm start. Okay, you need to write this command. So what this it will do means, it will create a server for us once you install the node.js with you, and it will create a server for us. And what will happen means, it just open a new server with us. Okay, you can see it. You can see a server is starting, and you can able to see what is the package that it is get installed. Okay, you can able to see it here. Yeah, you can able to see it here. It will come here. You can see this is the application that will be installed. Once you type npx create react app, this is the application that will be installed by default. So what we need to do, we need to go and delete all the unwanted things, and we need to write our own application over it. So that's what we need to do. Okay, so just a minute. Yeah. So what we're going to do? Let us go here and remember that what all are the files that I say that is important, and what all the files are not important. So in public folder we need only this index.html, and you can able to see it this basic application. Let us go for this src. You can see this index.html. Let us click this index.html. Okay, you can able to see this application. It is a component that is rendering. Let us go for this app.js. You can able to see this app.js, and inside this app.js you can able to see the entire thing, how it is structured. If they are asking for a logo, and they are asking a paragraph is here, you can see the edit src. It is a paragraph. What I can do, I just going to remove this one, and I just going to say hello world here. So what will happen, you can able to see the changes will be reflect here. Okay, so simply what we will do, we will remove everything and started to build our own application from the scratch. Okay, how can we do it? Let us go and remove all the unwanted clutter files that actually we don't want it. Okay, so let us close this. Go for this public folder. This I don't want this fav icon logo, this this except this index.html. We don't want anything, right? We just control it, and we just delete everything permanently. And I just go to move to this bit, and just deleted the entire folder. Okay, what we will do, what we can do, we will create our public folder, and inside this we will create our index.html. Okay, and inside this index.html, let us create the boilerplate, and what we need is a div with an id of root. This is actually we need it. Let me do one thing. So we will get this our id public. Remove that file itself, so that is why the error is coming. So not to worry, let me do one thing. Inside this we can create this index.html. Okay, and what I will do, I will copy the index.code from another project. Let's go, let us open it with VS Code. Okay, so we need to careful in deleting the files. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, nothing special. I just go and copy all the things that I want, because by default some files are there, so I just want to copy all the things, close it down, go for our application. Okay, I just going to paste it everything, and I just going to save it. And now let us go for our server and look for it. You can see nothing will be there, and there is a compilation problem they are saying. There is a fail to compile, and there are so much of error will be there, and we will remove this error. Okay, we will remove this error. Okay, let me see it, what all are, why, because we removed so much of things, right? So that is why it is coming this error. So now what we going to do, we just going to remove this css. We don't want the css, I just delete it down. Okay, and we need this app.js, we will keep it. We remove this test file, and we remove this index.js, this one, and we need this index.html, so we will remove this one also, and everything. Okay, except these files, we will delete everything like this. Okay, so right now we have these files only. So what we going to do, app.css file is not there. What is the error that it is giving means we have deleted some files and it is not there, so we need to look into it. So what I'm going to do, let us go for this index.js and remove all the uncluttered clothes. So I need this react and react dom, and I don't want this index.js because I removed it. I don't want it. I don't want this web vitals, and I don't want this code also. So this is just a code only. Okay, you can remove it. And now you can see this cannot solve logo.svg from somewhere file, it will be there. Okay, let us go for app.js and remove these things. Remove all the things that we have created here. Let us remove here. Okay, and logo is not defined is there. Let I remove the entire app component like this and keep it as empty. Okay, and now if I save it and it says Kyle component is failed, cannot resolve to stall, some of things will be there, that index.html is not there. Okay, so this is here, it is giving a problem. That is fine. So we have removed everything, right? So right now we have removed everything. So this is what we need to do. Okay, so simply we need to remove it everything, and we need to keep this app.js file, and this one itself you need to keep it. Okay, right now I deleted that file, that is why this error is coming. Okay, you can just remove this file and you can add that one. Okay, I just going to say, yeah. Okay. So now what we can do, we just create a function. Okay. So yesterday we created a function, right? Same like that, we will create a function. Okay. And what we can do, we can just say return. We will say return, and here I just going to say return, and h1 tag, that is going to be hello world. Okay. And here what we can do, we can export this export default. Okay, and here we're going to say app. So child component cannot solve the TW workshop public.index.html. So there is an error in our index.html file because I removed that one. That is why it is showing an error here. Okay. So what is the error? What we can do now is, so right now you can able to understand the structure, right? So what we will do, we can just remove this one and remove this one, and let me go here, this file. Okay. And we will open here. Okay, so this is the structure, and basically what you need to do, you need to remove everything, and you just want to work which file that you want to work, you can work with that. Okay, so that is the structure, it will be there. Okay, so now here I open this file and I just started to work here. Okay, npm start, because we don't want to waste the time in structuring the things. Okay, so this is where yesterday we have left with. We don't discuss so much of things in the yesterday because of it is not installing things and everything. So we have not discussed that much thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue from here. Okay. So whatever we have discussed is, we have a public file and we need this index.html and this one, and I just remove this app.css here. Okay. Actually we don't want it, so we removed it, and you can see it is an error here. So whenever you are removing something, check it whether it is used in your file or not. So here you can see, I think here the app.css is used, that is why it will came error, and you just remove it all the things, then it will be work fine. Okay, like this, then everything will be work fine. Okay, so yesterday we have discussed that what is components and how it is working, right? So components, we can able to build components in two types. Okay, one is class based components and another one is function based components. So function based components, we know the syntax. So what we need to do, we need to create a function and we need to give a name and we need to tell a return and we need to create it. Okay, let us comes to JSX and how can we write JSX later. Okay, let us see how can I create a class based component first. Okay, so how can we create a class based component? So let us go inside this component. I open another folder that is going to say class. It is going to mention it as class component. Okay, so inside this folder, I just going to create a file called what is, we can say, intro class.js or JSX, anything. Okay, so this is a file that we creating. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, instead of function based component, I just going to create a class based component. Okay, so how can we work with both things? Okay, so that's what we're going to cover in the basics. So let us see how can we create it. First, what you need to do is, you need to import the React. Okay, and React component from it. Okay, so what you need to do, I just say import React from React. Okay, and the next thing what you need to do, you need to write class, and what is the name that you want to give this component. I just going to say intro class. So for class component, I just giving class because we are working with two components, so we need to differentiate it. That's what it is. And we need to use the extends and React dot component. So what is this? What is this? See, when we are working with function, we don't use those things, right? So why? Because the function syntax are very similar, and you can see this classes and the extents. It is an inheritance. We will discuss this inheritance things in the inheritance things in the ES6 classes. Okay, and one more thing, if people who are new here, you don't know about the JavaScript and the ES6 concept, please look into the JavaScript and ES6 concept. That is very important. Send the day one link, watch it later. Thank you. Yeah. So the day one link is already in YouTube. You can just search it in the live classes. It will be there. Yesterday link, it will be there. Okay. You can search it. Okay. So what does that means? This is ES6. Okay. So the classes or a syntax of JavaScript. Okay. So with the help of JavaScript ES6 only, we are creating this component. So you need to understand it. So what is happening here? So I'm not able to take the ES6 concepts here. So for that, what I will do, I will explain about a little bit what we are doing here. So this is a class. We are going to create a class based component. What is class? A class is a blueprint for creating an object in JavaScript. So with the help of that classes only, we are going to create each and every component. Okay, and here what we are doing, we are giving the class name. And what is this extends? So extends is nothing but here we are inheriting. So in React, we have components and we are inheriting the component and we are using it here. Okay, so it is an inherited component. So which means this intro class, it will go and add to the React component under the React component. This is going to be the prototype of it. Okay, it will go and add to the under the React component. That's what it will do. Okay, once you're done with that, what you need to do is you need to tell what you need to render. Okay, not return, render. And inside this, you need to tell what you need to return. Okay, here I just want to return a div. Okay, and why we are using a div here? Because we discussed yesterday, the React component is going to return a single parent element. A component can return a one parent element. Okay, if you are giving more than an element, then it will throw an error. For example, if I started to return two div like this, okay, it will throw me an error because it is not possible. So you need to wrap everything in a single element, single div, and you need to export it. You need to export it. Okay, that's what you need to do. And here we have created this element, and here I want to say what is the one thing that I want to share. And here let me go, and instead of this we will do some work. Okay, so we will create something and we will start to work on it. So what we can create and what we can work on it, work on this is, let me create a hero section. Okay, let me create a hero section, and what I'm going to do, it is going to be a div. Okay, so here I just going to mention class. Okay, we will do that later. So I just going to say I need an image tag to add my image. Okay, and what the next one that I want is, the next one I want, it's going to be an I just want an image. I just want to show it in a bigger case. That's what I wanted. And below this image I just want to show it like some words. So I just going to say h1. Okay, like we can say click scroll down or something like that. Okay, scroll down like this. And what we can do, let us go for a website called Unsplash, and we will get some of the images to add in our link. Okay, so I'm just going to say like tourist, that we copy this image address, and we will add this image address here, and we will save it here. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I just going to export it. I just going to say export default. Okay, I just what I want to export, I just want to export this intro class. So I just going to export this intro class, and now I just going to import in the place where I want. So here I just imported these much of things. Right now I just going to remove everything. Okay, I just going to remove everything. I just going to save it, and I just going to remove all the component. And here you can see the app.js imported React, and there is nothing there, and it is a function based component. And if you want to change it to class based component, you can change it. How can we change it? Simple. Class, give the name app, extends from React component, render, return what it need to return. Okay, and here I just going to say I just want to return intro class. This is a component I want to return, and you can see that it is automatically fetched to the path where I want to import it. Okay, so now it is imported. So now let us save this, and we are getting this image. Okay, so we are getting this image, and below down we are getting this scroll down. Okay, now how can we add our CSS to it? So there are multiple ways to add our CSS to it. We have inline CSS, and we can add our own CSS, and we have styled components, and some of the libraries and everything will be there. Let me see how can we add our own CSS first of all. So for that, you can create your CSS file. Okay, you can create your CSS file. Okay, so below this component, in this src, I just going to create a CSS file that is going to be app.css. This is the file name, and here I just going to add the entire body. Okay, so I just going to say the background color. Okay, it is going to be star 0 fi like this. Okay, we have added some light shadows color like that. So let me see how can we apply it. Simply just go and import it in the head component. Okay, so in this app.js, just import it in the head component. So why we need to import it in the head component means, well, if you imported it in the head component, that styling will affect all the child component also. So you can able to affect all the child component also. Let me explain it. So here I just going to import. So for the good practice, I just going to import my CSS and top of the components. I just say import, and what I want to import is dot slash, it's going to be app.css like this, and we add it here, and let me save this, and for to identification purpose, right now I just give red color, and you can see the application, it is just applied, right? So right now let us go and add some light color, that is fine. Okay, likewise we have applied. So now what I going to do, I just going to change this image styling. How can I do it? Let us, right now we created a class component with the intro class, and we have applied here, and we have created it, right? And we usually we will give some class name or id name, and we will fetch it. So giving an id or giving an the tag and fetching the tag, it's not a problem. But when it comes to class name, there is a problem is there. What does that means? You can see that this is a syntax of JSX, right? Inside JavaScript we are writing HTML, inside HTML we are writing JavaScript. So it is a syntax of JSX, right? So what is the problem here? It is, what all are the reserved words that we have in JavaScript, like classes, for loop, and they are reserved words, right? And we are not able to use those reserved words. So let me see that. So word in JS in React. Okay, and you can able to see some of the words that you cannot use those reserved words. So for that, what you need to use is, you need to use a different name. For example, here you can see this class is a reserved name for JavaScript, and we are not able to use it. And how can I give a class? If I give a class here, and it will throw me an error, it will not going to work. So it is not a good practice, we are not able to give it. So for that, what we need to do, we need to give class name. So for those reserved words, we have a separate, the naming is little bit different here. Okay, so we need to give a class name. So I just going to give this container as hero. The class is going to be hero panel, like this. Okay, now what I going to do, I just go for my app.css, and let us say hero panel, and here we can give the let us go, we don't want here, I just go hero panel, inside that image. Okay, go for the image and give the width at 80%. Okay, you can see it is covering the 80%. So now let us go. Okay, let us go, and here I can say like the entire element, and I just say margin. Okay, margin 0%. Okay, and let me do the padding again, 0 pixel. Adding 0 pixel, and let us give the, we will take this one, and here let me make this to 100%, like this. Okay, it will be there, and here we are having this one, and here if you want to add some filters and everything, that you can add it, and you can edit. And you want to add some image, like let us make this image as a background image, you can add it like that. So much of things you can add it. And here you can go, and I just say h hero panel, the h1, and I just going to say text align, it's going to be center. And now we are getting it in the center. Okay, like this. So what we have done is, the one thing that we need to apply is, only here I applying this app.js, but I'm fetching the class that is in a component called here. So how it is connecting? Well, we are connecting here in our head component. Okay, so whatever the child component that we are going to connect with here, the styling it's applied to all the child components. So you don't want to worry about that, and you just got to create it. The only thing is you need to think about is, you just want to think about giving a reserved class name, like class name. For those things we have separate names, and you need to give it. And second one is, you need to wrap everything in a single component. That's what you need to do it. Well, okay, fine. So now what I want to do, i just want to I just want to render this component for 2 times. Okay, I have some 2 images. Okay, and I just want to render it for 2 times. Okay, for example, like this, or 3 times, like this. And now if I save it, you can able to see that we are getting this image for 3 times. But I don't want the same image. Okay, I need this image. Okay, let me do this one. Let us go for 50%. And let us take this dot hero panel, display flux. Okay, flux direction column. Okay, okay. So next what we're going to do, we're just going to say the flux direction column, and it is going to say the flux direction justify content is going to be center, and align items is going to be center, like this. Okay, we're going to have this thing, okay. Now what I want, I need to render each time a different image. Okay, so this is what I need to do it. So how can I achieve this one? Because this component is having only one image, so then I need to dynamically render this image, right? So how can I do this? So for that only we have properties that is called as props. So simply what we can do is we can pass the value here. Okay, and we can pass the value here, and we can able to get those value, and we can able to use it here. How it is possible? Let's see that. So here in this intro class, I just going to give for scroll down. Okay, I just want to give something called as name. Okay, and here I just going to give picture one. Okay, like this I'm giving. And let us go for this intro class. Okay, and here in this console.log, what we can do is, in here I just going to say, in this render I just going to say console.log. Okay, and here how can you fetch this dynamic values, or how can you fetch this dynamic values, or simply call this dot props. I will explain what is this props and everything. Okay, don't worry about that. I'll go for this console, and you can able to see that we are getting something called as object, and you can able to see name with picture, and you can able to see that here there is nothing and here there is nothing. Okay, so why? Because we need to pause everything here, we need to pause it, because here this component is having the name, we need to give a dynamically rendering things here. Whatever we need to pause, whatever the component that how many times it is rendering, it is going to pause it. So whatever the value that you're going to give, okay, whatever the value that you're going to give, they are come under an object, okay, and that value will be here. I just give 2 and I just give 3 to see it. And if I save it, now you can see that name image, name picture, and then like name picture 1, name picture 2, and name picture 3, right? So this component, when it's rendering, it is sending me a component. So how the this is working? Well, this refers to what is props. Props is nothing but property. In React, the namings are little bit fancy. That's it. Okay. So the namings are little bit fancy. So property, it is nothing but. So whatever the dynamic content that you are passing here, once you calling this dot props, you can able to get it here. So now it is just an object. So how can I get it? Well, simply this dot props dot name, like this. Okay, now if I ask for it, you can see I'm getting all the name of it. So now what I can do it, I need instead of passing this one, okay, I just going to create an object. Okay, let us pass a dynamic content to our method, and we will incorporate here. So what I'm going to do here, I just going to say data info. So this is what I'm going to giving the name for my property, and I just going to pass an object, and this object is going to contain an image. Okay, I just going to say image. And what is the image is going to be means, let us go, and this is the one image. I just going to copy this image address, and I just going to paste it here. Okay, and the next one, I just give a comma. Okay, let me pause. Okay, here what I'm going to do, the next thing what I'm going to do, the first one I'm passing an image. Okay, the first one I'm passing an image, And the second one, what I'm going to pass, the second one I'm going to pass the let us say title. Okay, let us say title, and here I just going to say first travel place, like this, like this. Okay, so now what we're going to have, we're just going to have intro class and everything will be here, and I just ask for this dot props for this one. Let us go here, and now we're going to say instead of name, I just going to ask for this dot props, and you can see we are getting this data info, and it is going to have an object, and this object is having image and then title inside it. So let us do the same thing for all our components. So I'm just going to copy this one. Okay, and I just going to pause it here, and I just going to pass it here. Okay, you can keep it as simple as possible. Okay, I'm giving an object. If you want to pass an object, you can pass it. If you want to pass an array, you can pass it. Whatever you want to pass it, you can pass it. Okay, so this is the way we will send one data information from one component to another component. Okay, sending an information from one component to another component. So here I just going to say second travel, and third, here I just going to say third component. Okay, and what I'm going to do, let us go for the image and scroll down to get some image. Let us get this image, copy this image address, and let us paste it here. Okay, and the next one is going to be copy this image address, and I just going to get it here, and I save it. So now let us go for this React component. Okay, so now you can, I just clear console, and one time I'm refreshing to get the data, and each and every time we're going to get a different data. First travel place, and you can see second travel place, and third one is going to be a third travel place. Okay, so we are getting it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I going to use, right now we are passing the data, I need to use this inside my class component. How can I use it? So which all are the place the content need to be added? So here the image is going to be there. So here I want to add it. In this image tag I want to add it, and here I want to add it. Okay, so this is the place you want to add it. So before that, what you can do is you can destructure the item. So what is destructuring? So this is also, just a minute. Okay, so okay, if what we can do, like, okay, so right now we have received that, right? So what is destructuring? Destructuring is nothing but it is also an ES6 concept. So what does mean that ES6 concept? What it will do means, well, we can, right now we are passing an object, right? So and we can keep out the things and we can store it in a separate variable. Okay, it is also an ES6 concept. If you don't know, I taken the ES6 concept in destructuring. Let's have a look into that 4 days of JavaScript classes. What we're going to do, so since it is going to be an object, right? So what we are getting, we are going to get an object. So this dot props is an object, and this dot props data info is an object. So I want to destructure this data info. So how can I destructure is, I just going to say const. Okay, and since it is an object, you need to use this curly braces, and I need to tell what I want to destructure. I just want to destructure this dot props dot this data info. Okay, data info, and now you need to tell what are the values that you need to like you need to bring out. Okay, so you need to mention the property name. It is going to be image and title. So I want the image tag, and I want the title. So this way what you can do means, whatever the information that you want in an object, you can just grab it outside. Okay, so that you can do it. So I just going to say console.log, and here I going to say image, and I just going to say title, like this. And if I save it, you can see we are getting this image tags. If I add the console.log, you can see we are getting the image tag and we are getting this title tag. So now these in right now that it is in the property, right? So it is centered like an object. Now we are getted the object and we separated the object into image and title. Now we can be able to use it. Okay, how can we use it? Well, remember that this is a JS syntax. So it is JavaScript and it is HTML. And inside this, you can able to write JavaScript. So if you want to write JavaScript, then you need to wrap it with this square bracket, this curly braces. Okay, wherever you want to write JavaScript, you need to wrap it with here. Okay, for example, here I just want to, what I want to render, I want to render the image. Okay, I just want to render the image because that is containing the link. I just want to render it. And second, what here I want to image, I just want to render the title. And here if I save it, let us come down. You can see my first travel and my second travel and my third travel. So this is property. Simply we call it as props. Okay. So what is mean by props is props is nothing but sending your data, okay, dynamic data from one component to another component. We can able to grab through it, and with the help of it, remember that we created this component, we created this card. Let us consider this is an card component. Okay, so we created this intro class component, okay, only one time. Okay, we used this component, and render the dynamic data according to us. Just imagine if we created the same thing in HTML and CSS, what we need to do? We need to copy paste 3 times, and we need to change each and every image, and we need to change everything, right? If I want to change anything, then I need to go and change everything. Here, the data are separated and the component is created once. How many times you want it? Just call the component, and whatever the data that you want to pass it, just pass inside it. Okay, so that's what you need to do it. Okay, simple. So this is called as property. And how can we access the property? You can give a name, and you can, whatever the name like to give, you can either pass it as a string, number, or whatever the data that you want to pass it, you can tell it. And once you done it, you can be able to use this dot props. If it is a class based component, you need to use this dot props, and you can use it. Or either you can use this destructuring, or without destructuring also you can go. How can we go with? You need to write this dot props dot data info dot image, like that you need to write it every time. So that is why we destructured it and we stored it in a different place. Okay, understand? That image is not using src attribute. Why? Using object inside image, not using src attributes. Why? Using object inside this image, not using src attribute. Why? What? Here we are using this src attribute, right? We are using the src attribute, we are not changing anything the html code. Only I am telling that what is the link I want to change. Okay, only I am telling that what is the link I want to change it. So here if you want to give, normally what we will give a string, right? We will give a string. So instead of that, what we are doing, so we passed a string only. You can see a image that is in a string. Okay, that is passed like an object, and we are going here and we are getting that, and we are came out each and everything, and we are putting here. Okay, so how it is get replaced? It is replaced like this. Okay, and you will have the link here, same like that. Okay, but only thing is it is carried from some other place and it is giving here. Okay, so that's what happening here. Understand? We are using it, and make sure that you are giving all tag and everything properly or not. Okay, so everything you need to give it, and you need to pass it. Okay, just mention it something like this. Okay, so whatever you want to give, you can give it. Okay, so that's what you need to. Can you send the day one? Okay, use SSR. Okay, fine. So this is what called property. So now let's see that. Right now we have discussed how can we get the property in class based component, right? So this is how basically the class based component is work. And when you are passing props image, when you are passing props image, we are passing the props image here. You can see where we are importing the components. Here we are passing the props image, data info is here, and inside that we are passing an object, and that object is containing two property. One is image, and it contains the image link, and second one is going to be a title tag, and it is the title of the tag. Okay, and what I'm doing, with the help of this dot props dot data info, you need to call it, you can get this entire object. Okay, and what I'm doing that, here I'm destructuring it. Okay, here I'm destructuring it. What is destructuring means? We can able to bring out this image and bring out this title and store it in a separate variable. So that is what these variables are, image and title. I need this variable. I inside that object, I have, there is an image and title property is there. Just bring it out. I don't want it in my object, I just bring it out. This is destructuring. Okay, and now what I'm doing, whatever the image link I'm getting, you need to render it here. And whatever the javascript code that you want to write it here, you need to write it in a curly braces, and image is a variable. It is a JavaScript code, and here we are implementing it. And inside this variable, what we are having? We are having this link. And what the src attribute will do, it will take the link and it will display. And what is going to happen, each and every component, they have a separate link, and they are going to apply it here, and they are will be displayed in our browser like this each and every time. Okay, understand? Yeah, this is what happening here. Okay, so if you have confusion in destructuring, okay, this is, you have confusion in destructuring, remove that. Okay, so we know that how to get the property, how we can get the property. I just remove this one and I just remove this one. Why we are using this curly braces? We are using this curly braces because I going to write a JavaScript code. So inside HTML, remember that in JSX, inside HTML, you want to write JavaScript code, you need to give this mustache braces. That's it. Okay. So how can I get that? So you need to type this dot props. I'm going to write here this dot props. Okay. And what is the property I'm going to get? The property name is going to be data info. Let us copy here and paste it here. And what is the value I want to show here? The value is, I need to show the image because it is an src attribute. I need to show the image of it. So how can I show it here? Simply this is an object. So how can we go and access a property? Give a dot and tell the property name. Same like that. Here it is a data info. Give a dot and tell the property name. It is going to be image. And now if I save it, let us go here, and you can able to see the images are updated. And for title, what you need to do? You need to do the same thing. This dot props dot data info dot, and instead of image, what is the property I need to render? The property I need to render is title. So I just going to copy and I just going to paste it here. Okay, but you can able to see what we are rendering. But you can see that every time I need to write this dot props dot data info, this dot props dot data info, like that I need to write it. That is why we are destructuring here. Okay, so you are, whatever the variable I want, I'm going to use, I just going to destructure it. So in this way, I don't want to write it every time this dot props dot data info like that. I can just tell the variable name. Okay, because we destructured it. I like this. And if I save it, it will be work. This is also work. Okay, so you need to destructure to reduce the syntax. That is a way of writing a clean code. Okay, that's it. Fine. So this is for class based component. How can I pass a property for a function based component? How can I pass it? Let me do one thing. Let me create, inside this I create a component called intro function. Intro func.jsx. Okay, and here what we can do, we can create a function that is going to be, say, intro function. Okay, what it need to return? I just want to return, and what I am going to return, I just going to return a div. Okay, and here I just going to say, I just going to have a button tag. Button. Okay, and I just want to, what I want to do here, I just want to render the data dynamic, like click, and first one click, second one is delete, third one is some other thing that I want to do it. So how can I do it? Let us say export default intro function like this, and where I want to import in my app.js, I want to import it. Okay, here I just going to import at the bottom of these three, I just going to import my intro function. Intro function. Okay, intro function is here, and we have created it, and here I just say click. You can see we are getting this click. So now I just going to render it for 3 times. Now here one click, and here each and every class component I just going to render it. So now you can see click, click, and click. Okay, so what I going to do is, I need to change this click to something else. So first one I just want to, that is property, right? what I'm going to do here, I want to say post, here I want to say delete, and here I want to say something else like edit. What can I, how can I pass it? Well, pass the property in function based, simply name, like I can say like data that I'm passing is first component is going to be post like this, and second component I'm going to post delete, and third component I'm going to post edit. Okay, so how can I use, okay, so how can I use it here means simply here you can ask for, you don't want to call this dot props and everything, I just going to ask for console.log props, simply props. Okay, and I just ask for the props. Let us go and click for the inspect, go for the console, and here we are getting the, like here you need to mention the properties, the name, I just going to say props, and now you are getting this one. You can see the properties that we are getting, and if I want to use this, simply say props dot data, and you will get all the thing. So here I want to render dynamically, I just want to, if it is, this is a JavaScript code inside HTML, so what we can do, we can use this curly braces, and here we can say props dot data. So each and every time this is going to run, so the button is going to have post, the button is going to have delete, the button is going to have edit. If I just remove it, you can see the first button having post, and the second button having delete, and third button having edit. Okay, so in there, if we need to use this dot props dot and whatever we want to pass it, that we need to pass it. Here we need to use, you don't want to use the this dot props dot and everything. Whatever you are getting, you can mention it in the property and you can use it. So how can I destructure it here? Simple, you can destructure here by simply what you want to destructure this property, right? So simply here itself you can destructure. I just want the data like this, and here you can mention the data of it, and now you will get the same result. So what I'm doing, I'm getting a property that is coming from a component, and here I use this curly braces, right? What the curly braces will do, it will destructure object. So destructuring means whatever the property that I needed, I can take it from. Okay, so now it is an object, so I just destructured only, I just, the props is an object, so I destructured the data that is coming from that. Okay, I just say I just want the data, right now I'm getting it, that's it. So we are processing it and we are rendering it here. Okay, so this is how we will pass one information from one component to another component, and we can able to create it, and we can able to create the dynamic component. Now imagine that if you want to create an entire application, you can create one replica and you can change the content for each and everything whenever you are changing it. That's what you need to do. Okay, understand? So this is all about properties. So yes sir, now props is clear. Yeah, this is all about props. Okay, and this is components, and this is how we will work with. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss about, before that I will share the link. Okay, and I will want to show some other things also, I will show it that one. Okay, so I just share the admins link, just a minute. I will share you the attendance link. Please fill the attendance form. And if you have any doubts right now, ask me in the chat box. Okay, I will explain to you. Okay, don't hesitate to ask the doubts. I will be open to clear the doubts. Okay, so tomorrow what we're going to work with is, we're going to see about, we're going to work with a project. Okay, so tomorrow itself, because we're going to have 2 days, we're going to create an API project. Okay, what is API? Just have a look into the basics of JavaScript and what is API and everything. Shivakumar, I don't know Hindi. Okay, so can you tell it in English? It's much more understandable. Okay. So the form is shared in the chat box. Have a look into the form and fill the form, and you can able to use it. Okay. So tomorrow we will look into what is states and how can we work with the states, and we go and started to write, and how can we work with the list and renders, and how can we work with the class based components and hooks. Those things will be there, and we're going to cover it in the next 2 days. So be prepared for it. And for that information, I'm kindly request you to just learn the basics of JavaScript and ES6 to understand that properly. Then only you can able to get into that. Okay. So you can just have a, you can fill the form. Once you fill the form, just give a just say just filled like that in the chat box, and if you have any doubts you can ask it. So when did you teach state? Tomorrow we're going to have states tomorrow. We're going to have states tomorrow, both class based and function based component, and with the help of the state we're going to create an application, an API application also. So building that application we're going to learn while building this application. Okay, we're going to learn it that. Okay, and both for that, and also we will see a little bit about life cycles component in class based component, and we will see hooks, the use effect and the use state hooks in React also. We will discuss it and we will complete it within 2 days. We will complete that. Okay, and probably we will come up with we will going to create an AP application both in class based component and function based component. How can I work in class based component and how the same thing is working in the function based component? We're going to do that. Okay, you will get a great understanding while building that up basics applications. Okay, then if you're learning advanced React JS, then it will be and the basics will be a little bit understandable, and you can able to work with advanced JS and working with some other best hooks and everything that is available. Okay, okay, thank you all. If you really like the supports and everything, like just give a like and a comment and subscribe for the channels. It will really motivate for you. And if you have any doubts, just take a screenshot of it and post it in the LinkedIn and tag me, Nabati Biswa sir and Mozam sir, and just communicate with us in the LinkedIn and tell us in the LinkedIn. We will there to help you, and we are active in LinkedIn. You can just tag us by posting something, and like that we will give that. Okay, events completed, bro. Sir, you can explain. Is very easy to understand. I'm interested for tomorrow class. Thank you. Thank you so much. Advance is not completed. It is going to be taken from 21 to 27 to 31. Advanced React JS. Okay. So what you want to learn is JavaScript beginner to basics and advanced to master. Okay. So this is last month, the previous month we have taken. Okay. Have a look into the YouTube videos that scroll down. 4 days of JavaScript workshop for beginner to advanced and advanced to master. There are 8 days. The live classes is taken. Okay. So have a look into that 8 videos. That is more than enough. You can come and you can understand the syntax that what we are working, what is classes, what is destructuring and those things. Okay, it will be give a clear understanding for you. Okay, have a look into that. See you tomorrow. Bye.